Hi, my name is Summer Ottersberg, and today I'm going to be talking about the article Body Ritual Among the Narsimena by Horace Minor. In this article, the author talks about what he sees as rituals within the American culture. My first response to this article was thinking it was about some ancient untouched tribe that has different practices and rituals than Americans today, but in reality, it was about America and the common practices today. In this article, it essentially tells you what people outside of America view us as. In their eyes, we are interpreted as vain, selfish, and it points a target on how Americans take medications to change their appearance and how they feel. From an outside perspective, it also shines a light on how we spend our time on money on these things that outside cultures see as self-obsessed. Seeing it as Americans always strive for more, it is interesting seeing how other people view tasks that we see as necessities like the doctor, dentist, and salons, and how self-care can turn to self-obsessed from another point of view. I would definitely say our society is focused on more of what we look like today than the person underneath. This article helped me to realize what is normal for us might not be normal for everyone today. A communication pattern and an event in American culture that I would like to talk about today is church. Church is an event that usually happens on Sundays across the nation. Now, me, for example, I go to CCV where you can access church on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays, and also there are online services throughout the week that make church more accessible to you. And there are also small groups that meet throughout the week that spread the word of God, so you can get, Jesus throughout the week too. Church is defined as a building used for a place of worship and a place of community where fellowship is shared both before and after church. The main idea of church is to go into this building and hear your pastor's message. In church, you also participate in communion, where you take bread and you take juice during the service, and that's you essentially recognizing his sacrifice for us. Communion is usually a time of seance where it's silent and you just get to have a one-on-one moment with God and just really connect through him throughout that time. Another main concept you do in church is you worship. You stand up with hundreds, if not thousands of people with different backgrounds, and you praise and worship God with them. I actually think that people outside of American culture can really appreciate this communication pattern and event that Americans participate in, because I'm sure this is something that happens throughout nations. It is something very common in the US today, and just worshiping and just praising something that you love, someone that you love, is very common. And I think that this really just takes us away from our common stereotype, and that is something that other cultures can appreciate. And this event and communication pattern is seen in multiple ways throughout the US today, like in things such as American football, concerts, and the US election. I would say definitely in the US election, because thousands of people watch polls, they watch the polls, they watch the votes go up or down every night, and you get tickets for a concert a year, months before, just to see the person that you love performing. And American football is something that a ton of people come together to watch on Sundays just to see if their favorite team is going to win. I think this event has changed over time because Christianity wasn't always a known thing. So in past tense, church was taken in smaller homes with smaller groups of people, like Jesus' followers, Jesus' disciples, just smaller groups of people that were really trying to understand what Christianity was. And looking more into the future, not that long ago, it can sometimes happen today. This might still be going on, but church was known as a thing that you would get dressed up for. You would go in button up, you would go in slacks, your church shoes. But today, church is definitely a more common thing, where you can go, where you just woke up out of bed. You can go in more common attire, or you can still go in this fancy, more traditional attire to church. And another personal thing that I think has changed in the church over time is that kids aren't expected to sit with their parents anymore during adult services, because what's interesting for you is probably not interesting to a 5-year-old or younger. So the church offers things such as infant care, kids, junior high, special needs, and they come together with a group of coaches to really change the message that you're listening to, and just help, like, whatever age group is listening to it, just help them understand it more. Overall, even though Christianity is something that happens less and less today, and it's really not that common or appreciated, I still think that church is beneficial to the American culture because it provides everyone with a sense of community and a home-like feeling. In New York Times, it actually states that church and religion can boost the immune system and decrease blood pressure. This could be because us as humans, we tend to carry a ton of stress and worry because everything that happens in our day-to-day lives, but it really helps us to know that there's a higher power, and it can give us a sense of belonging and just knowing that everything's going to be okay and that we're just not going to be in control all the time, and that really just takes off a lot of stress. Church is also a way to establish new relationships and friendships that help you grow as a person. No matter the religion, church can be looked at as a safe place, no matter what you look like and what your past is. It's where existing faith and relationships come together to become stronger. Church gives us morals that influence our daily lives and choices. Essentially, church is beneficial to America because it is everything that our stereotype isn't. It isn't vain, it isn't self-obsessed, and I think it's something that a lot of cultures can really appreciate from an outside perspective.